Patience is work. Patience is choosing the version of you are becoming, even when the version of you, who you are right now, is screaming for proof. And when I disappeared for a while, people thought that I was gone. But I wasn't gone. I was planting. I was planting seeds. I was planting self-worth. I was planting boundaries. I was planting truth. And I'll be honest, every single day I wanted to check if my reality already changed. Every day I was checking if my life already changed. But nothing came, and that is when it hit me. It wasn't the timing I didn't trust. It was life. Nobody really talks about this part. The moment you plant a seed, your part is done, and at the same time, it's only the beginning. Because you cannot force a seed to open. You cannot rush its timing. You cannot drag it to become something before it is ready. And if you pay attention, you see this everywhere. Because look at nature. You cannot demand a flower to bloom in winter. You cannot pull up the sun faster. You cannot control the rain. Nature doesn't hustle. Nature doesn't panic. Nature just grows, becomes. And your life works exact the same way. You cannot force someone to show up at the right time. But somehow they do, right? When you are ready. It's the same with a breakthrough. You cannot force a breakthrough, but one day you will wake up and you will realize you're not the person you were 6 months ago. I've seen this in my own life. I once met someone at the most random moment and I almost didn't show up for it. I was tired. I didn't feel like going. I almost stayed at home, but something inside of me said, just go. And that person, they were there at that exact moment. And I was reflecting on this because that's what I love to do. If I had forced this, if I controlled this, if I planned this perfectly, I would have missed them. I would have missed them for sure. But I was just there somehow, and so were they. And that is how life works. It happens quietly, powerfully, and naturally. Because you, by planting the seeds, by setting these intentions, you created the conditions for your growth. And you are doing it because most people avoid planting seeds. They don't even do it. They complain about not having a harvest, but they never put anything in the ground. They want a relationship, but they don't work on themselves. They want peace, but they don't set boundaries or they don't choose themselves. Other people, they want transformation, but they avoid discomfort. And then I will say, you cannot harvest what you never planted. So the real question isn't, why isn't it happening yet? The real question is, am I actually planting anything? Am I setting clear intentions? Am I showing up for it? And let me share one more thing, because that is what I've learned in my own process. And that is why wanting it now blocks everything you want. Because when you want something now, you are not manifesting, you are reacting out of fear. We come either from fear or from love. A seed needs darkness, it needs silence, it needs time underground where nothing looks like progress. And it's the same with you. Some things cannot be rushed, they unfold. Simple, guys. And the moment you try to force them, you will block everything. You will block everything that is meant for you. Think about your life. The best things you've ever received, you didn't chase them, right? They found you when you were finally aligned. This is the part where you use your power. Think about the last time something amazing happened to you. You probably weren't chasing it. You were just living your life. You were just being you. And it found you. You didn't force those moments to happen. You were just ready and you were present. But every time you ask, why is it taking so long? Did I do something wrong, or is there something wrong with me? And especially if you're comparing yourself to others, they have everything already. What's wrong with me? You disturb your own roots. Impatience isn't hunger, it is fear. You're coming from fear. And that fear is rooted in not receiving, in not feeling that you deserve it. Maybe it's the fear of being forgotten. Let me be clear, you are not forgotten. You are becoming, you are remembering. There is a version of you that can hold what you are praying for. And if you have a mission, something, a desire you really want, let me be clear, it is here for a reason. It is here in your awareness because it chose you. And there is a version of you that can hold what you are praying for. And you are growing into that version of you. Not on your timeline, but on life's timeline. And life's timeline, it is never, never, never late, even when it feels like it. So for me, the real shift came when I stopped begging life for timing and started preparing myself for what I was asking for. I stopped asking, when will it show up? And I started asking, am I showing up for it today? Am I planting? Because here's the truth. You cannot control when someone or something enters your life. There's a powerful force outside of you. However, you can control the version of you they're going to meet. You cannot control when your breakthrough comes, but you can keep showing up for the version of you that's ready for it. You have to become that version. And I always say, remember that version. Remember who you are. Because timing is not your responsibility, alignment is. And most people, they quit before the roots even form. They plant for a week. They see nothing and they walk away. They try for a month. They feel stuck and they stop. Most people do this. But growth, guys, growth is quiet. Growth is slow. Growth happens in the dark. And the only way you will ever see the harvest is if you keep planting even when the soil looks empty. If you trust and believe. Because when you plant quietly, your energy softens, your desperation fades, your confidence, your trust returns. And that is when life begins to move. Not because God, the universe, suddenly chose you. That's not how it works. But because you finally chose you finally chose to trust. And there is one phrase I will always keep repeating to myself when I don't see the results. Life doesn't delay what's meant for you. It delays when you're not ready to hold it. And when that landed, the timing stopped feeling really taking for ages. It started feeling really protective. I was getting ready. And you know what I realized after that? I am not, and you are not, a one-day flame. You're built to last. Your breakthrough isn't a moment. It is your becoming. It is who you are. Okay? So at the beginning of this video, I talked about my seeds I was planting in my becoming. These are the seeds I planted when my life felt the quietest. The first thing I needed to do is boundaries, because I didn't have boundaries. I would accept so many things. I wanted to be liked. I just accepted things I shouldn't accept. And this took me years before anything changed, but it did change. The second seed was really self-love. It was not the cute kind, self-love. No, it was the honest kind. Like, I choose me even when it feels uncomfortable. That seed took time, but it grew into a version of me that I don't abandon anymore. I'm so strongly rooted in that truth right now. And seed 3 was like obviously new beliefs. On days where I felt forgotten by God, by life, I always whispered, I trust my timing. Like, there was no way that I'm doing all of this and nothing is going to change. It was the belief rooted itself in me. Because some seeds grow slow, but slow doesn't mean it's not happening. So if you're in your planting season right now, you're not late. God did not forget you. You are rooting in your truth. And roots, they grow deep before they even grow high. They grow in silence, in uncertainty, in places no one sees. But the deeper the roots, the higher the rise. So keep planting. When you doubt yourself, plant. When fears get loud, plant. When motivation disappears, plant. When life feels still, plant anyway. Let this be your mantra. And water your seeds with your presence, with your compassion, with your faith, not with perfection, with force, with what you want and your panic and fear, but trust, because it's gonna happen, period. Things happen as long as you keep planting your seeds. Not when you rush, not when you force, when you panic, not when you compare your timing to someone else. Because let this be your reminder, things start to bloom when you start to trust. And one day you'll look at your life and realize everything you prayed for was growing inside you the whole time. You just needed the courage to give it time. Plant your seeds, trust your timing, because your season is here right now. And this time you will be ready for it because you showed up for it. Okay? This is the shift that really helped me to get into an energy of trusting, to expand my energy, to be open to receive. Because we all want change. But the thing that always helps me, as long as I'm planting seeds, as long as I am setting intention and I take aligned action every day, it's gonna happen. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen, okay? So I hope my video resonates. I don't know who needed to hear this, but let me know in the comments if this resonated, because this came so intuitively to me, where I was like, I really need to record this video right now. So I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.